Okay, so I did some organization this past week. Sorry, I'm reaching for some things. And I moved all of my craft stuff from the corner of this living room over to the corner of this living room. And I moved all of Atrella's craft stuff from the dining room over to in front of me on the other corner. And it looks so much better now in the living room. We have, half the living room is our craft stuff and the other half is our couches, and it looks great. And I wish I would have done this a lot sooner. I'm so much more happier with the dining room not being overshadowed, or like Atrella's craft station is a big baker's rack, but she has like boxes that she saves, and she's gonna record later, kind of off topic, not really off topic because I'm talking about Atrella, but she's been doing a ton of crafts, a ton of drawing, and we are definitely gonna sit down with her when she gets home from school and let her do a little recording. So please stay tuned for that if you so wish. But so to the point, I've moved all my craft stuff, and in doing that, I found some yarns that I just wasn't in love with anymore. I didn't like the base. Maybe I changed my mind altogether on the project, and I was on my way to the dentist, so I packed up that yarn, and I went to my local yarn store, and I said, hey, I had this in my stash. What do you think about maybe me returning it? And she said, oh, sure, I can honor store credit, which is great, because, that's what I wanted. I need more yarn. I don't need what's in my stash right now. So Amy is amazing. She honored store credit. I exchanged some stuff and got new stuff. So without spending any money, so I didn't break any rules of my yarn diet, I got a few new things. And what else did I get? I got my copy of Rib, finally. If you haven't seen this, everybody is talking about it. This is the magazine that Eric from Sticks Plus Twine and Devin from Handmade in Woolen, it's their brainchild. A bunch of other podcasters and love has went into this from various different people. I'm really excited about these patterns. The idea behind this entire magazine is knits for men, and patterns for men and those who knit for them, I think is like their slogan or catch or something. But here's a pattern from Mina that I am definitely going to knit my husband. Look at that gorgeous definition on that hat. I really love that. There's a matching cowl too, but my husband's not really a cowl wearer. There's a really cool pair of mitts in here that I definitely want to knit for myself, maybe even for some gifts. It's got a beautiful seed stitch with a cable up it. Looks amazing. This pillow I'm really excited about knitting for our home. I think it would be a lot of fun to kind of incorporate some different techniques into a big flat project versus like a shawl and having to worry about increasing or decreasing, or even a garment. That's just kind of a nice way to try your hand at some different stitches. And can we talk about the photography and beautiful, gorgeous models in this book? I think we all know who this is. Chelsea of Legacy Knits and her husband. This is just such an enjoyable book to have. And then at the very end, I really liked the fact that there is a cocktail recipe. I'm not a huge drinker, but I do like to have the occasional cocktail, and that's just really cool that I think even Jenny had said that they plan to put a recipe for a drink, or at least some sort of recipe in each issue. So I'm excited to see what else is to come from Rib. All great things. Definitely buy a subscription. I will be getting every publication they come out with. So in addition to that, I also picked up, I always say gauge schmage, but I'm knitting more garments, and I'm really curious to see what my gauge is on those. So I got a knitter's rule. I've been wanting one of these. I've seen these so many times, and I'm so glad. Look, it looks like a little frame. That's so cute. That's so cute. Yeah, so I'm just excited to have one of these in my stash. I think it's a valuable tool. Another thing that I've been kind of wanting, and I've seen it a few different places, it's a knitter's graft paper journal. And the really cool thing about this one is, it's just graph paper, which is fine, but it also has this particular company. We are visual artists, makers, and knitters based in Portland, Oregon. Conceived as a catch-all journal with knitters in mind, we seize the opportunity to combine our passion for independent publishing, sketchbooks, functional design, and of course knitting. And we hope all knitters enjoy it as much as we do. And it's rowanmorrison.com. Isn't that cool? Like that, not even that made me buy it. So the little leaf says, symbols, needles, checklist, yarn weights, and fabric care, all printed inside. So on the inside flap cover, to the front flap, you have a place maybe you could put your name, but it has a needle checklist. Hello? Okay, before you say, I know Ravelry has a needle checklist, and I know that you can go in and put all that information into Ravelry, but I am such a pen and paper person. I want to have pen against paper. I want to be writing. I want to be able to open a book and see what I have, and this is just so invaluable to me. And it even has little hooks down here too, so you can have needles and your hooks that you can mark. And then it's got standard yarn weights, 0 through bulky. It's got fabric care symbols printed. It's got a ruler on the side. And then on the back of it, it's got knitting symbols cheat sheet. Are you serious right now? This is so invaluable to have. And I thought what a cool thing would be to do to the outside. I was inspired by one of the people I follow on Instagram did this with her box of socks. She took all the yarn labels from her box of socks and sort of decoupaged them on the outside of her box. And I thought it would be really cool to do that to my journal, to take yarn labels and glue them to that. So I got that, I got the rule, I got the rib, and because I wasn't so in love with the trellis sweater, I was like, well, what am I going to do? I looked around and found some yarn that I'm very happy with, and I think I'm just going to cast this on. So it is all Texas dyed yarn. This is Yarn Carnival in colorway Big Bad Wolf. And it is 822 yards, 150 grams. A light fingering. That's a lot of yardage. And then these two are Twisted Owl Fiber Studio in colorway Pirate Ship. And I mean, when I showed Atrella these colors, she swooned. These are very much her colors. And so I will still use these yarns, probably not for this project. Even though I'm that far along, I'm just not enjoying the yarn management of carrying those 3 yarns. And so maybe there'll be socks or hats or something else, and this will be the little honey. And it is a current knit along on the Yarngasm podcast, and she's co-hosting with somebody, I can't tell you who. It's going on through March, I want to say, but there's no way I'm going to cast on Atrella a sweater and be done with it that quick. She's quite bigger than Prudence. But that is all of the knitting that I have to show you. I do have one more thing. So the question that I want to put on the podcast group is, what the heck happened to my shawl, y'all? What? So I got this. This was one of the ones on the back of my chair. So I always alternate them out and put different shawls on the back of my chair. This one was on the back of my chair, and I wanted to wear it, and I took it down, and it kind of just smelled, dusty and just not fresh. So I threw it in the wash, meaning like the tub. I hand wash my shawls. I'm not that crazy. I might machine wash my socks, but I'm not going to throw a shawl in the machine. So I soaked it in the tub, and then when I took it out and laid it out, to my absolute horror, what should I discover but a hole? And I was just watching the Naughty Knitwit podcast, and this happened to Leslie too. She had a shawl in storage or something, and she got it out, and it had a hole in it. And I'm not sure what her resolution was, but I will show you. It is definitely not like a drop stitch. The yarn has broke. See, there's a piece of yarn, and then on the back here, there's a piece of yarn. So the yarn definitely broke. There's a few drop stitches now, and I'm holding it together with a progress keeper. So I have my live stitch down here and my live stitch up here, and I'm holding it together. Just barely holding it together, y'all. Just barely. And I just don't know what the best course of action would be to close up that hole. Luckily, I do have some more of this yarn, but I'm just so bummed this happened. And so other than fixing this, another question that I have is, how do you store your shawls so they remain nice throughout the years and fresh and, you know, don't get random holes or covered in dust to where you have to wash them? How do you store your shawls, and how do you fix holes in your shawls are my two questions. And I do believe that is all I have for y'all knitting wise. I talked a little about our organization, so we did do that this past weekend. Last weekend we actually went camping. I might pop a few videos in. The last time I recorded a podcast, YouTube told me I couldn't upload a video longer than an hour. So that's why my last podcast was in 2 videos. I'm sorry about that to anybody that inconvenienced. But then I watch podcasts longer than an hour all the time, so I'm not sure why YouTube hates me. Anyway, I digress. We went camping. I might pop in a few of those videos if it doesn't make my YouTube video way too long. But we went camping. It was so much fun. We did a lot of hiking. We actually took Prudence's best friend with us. My 6-year-old has this like best friend. It is the cutest thing. And they do everything together and have sleepovers. And so we took her camping, and she'd never been camping before. So that was even more fun. And on one of our little hikes that we took, I found an arrowhead. So that was exciting. I have actually never found an arrowhead before. And we went to the Mineral Wells State Park, which is really local to us. It's only about half an hour from where we live. And so that was just so much fun. Other than camping, I've been rewatching the series Vikings. I keep up with the current season, but I'm also rewatching it just because I love it that much, and I wanted to rewatch it. That's all. That is all that I've got going on. My mother-in-law's in town. She brought me some pecan coffee, but I was kind of jotting show notes before I sat down and recorded, and so that turned cold before I even got to sip it. Oh, my mug, though, is from my friend Trish. The last time I used this mug, I couldn't think of her name. I could only think of her Instagram handle, which made me feel so awful, which is kind of funny, though, because, I mean, you spend all this time chatting with people and following people, and you see this Instagram handle as their name, like that's who that is. And so when you're trying to think of their actual name, it doesn't exist in your brain. But Trish sent me this mug in our swap from Maryland, and I love it, and I use it all the time. So I just wanted to right that wrong when I didn't know her name, like a space cadet. So that is definitely all. I have worked a little bit on some other projects, but not enough to show you guys, so I won't waste any time doing that. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me. I was going to show y'all this, but I don't know. Do you care? The girls and I we made crystal. Isn't it cool? We did that one of the days that they were home for Christmas vacation, but I put it over here as my little decoration. So that is definitely all. I'm rambling now. I'm looking around, stalling, and I'm just going to stop it right here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you can answer my questions about storage shawls and holes in shawls, please do so on the Yarn Junkie podcast group. And as always, I will see y'all next time. Happy crafting. Hi guys, and welcome back. Thanks for sticking out this long if you're still with us. Here are my girls ready to show you the things that they've been crafting on. So we've got Atrella and Prudence.
Hi. I'm 6, she's 11.
They know how old you are, I always tell them. So what have you been working on, Atrella?
I have many things. Most of them are actually quite small, but many.
So you've been working on some foods. Go lay down, Lucy.
Yes.
Go lay down.
Lots of foods.
Here, I'll hold them up and you talk about them.
This is a little breakfast, and I was just going to make the egg, and then I thought, well, I can't just make one thing.
How did you make the egg?
I put a little mound of hot glue on a piece of white paper, and then stuck a little circle of yellow paper on it, and then put a little mound of hot glue on that.
And then painted the mound. And how did you do, is that bacon
It's a little sausage.
links?
Yes. And I just colored cuts of toothpick with a marker.
What about the milk?
Milk, yes, the milk. I rolled up a piece of craft foam and had a cut piece of straw and stuck the foam in there. And I covered the little top with clear glue.
And what are the green and orange?
Celery and carrot sticks.
From craft foam, and the tray
Yes.
is craft foam?
Yes.
And the fork is craft foam?
Yes. The fork was definitely the most difficult because you gotta cut in those tiny little pieces.
I like how your plate has ridges.
It's a paper plate because it's actually made of paper.
And then your second little meal,
Sushi.
Which is the
complete with chopsticks.
And
the chopsticks
wasabi
aren't
and
glued on, so.
and
Ginger?
what-
yes, ginger.
Let's.
And you did all of that with craft foam?
Yes, except for the little black parts around. I realize now that you can't see me pointing. But the little black parts are,
Construction paper
yes, and the little black parts wrapping the sushi.
is construction paper
You can barely see it.
for seaweed. And then the chopsticks are obviously toothpicks.
I did cut them and sand them a little
You
bit.
did. I mean, that's really cool. You sanded them.
Just at the top.
And that's Mom's favorite meal.
Sushi is Mom's favorite meal. Good job, Prudence.
And
And then this
dinner.
one that you made,
Pizza.
For dinner, and
It's
one
a
slice
vegetable pizza.
comes
veggie
out.
pizza, and one slice does come out. And these are all for your Barbies.
Yes.
Everything's for the Barbies.
Yum, yum.
Except my stuff.
And it's mostly craft foam paint and the little construction paper toppings.
Mushrooms.
Red
And then you made
onions.
a drink,
Yes, like a boss.
a mug.
It's a little hot chocolate with a marshmallow.
I think you did show this.
I don't know.
Yeah,
And then
a little
The
flower
flower
vase
vase, and this is actually a little wood piece that my sister found somewhere.
in our room
Yes.
when we
in
were
our
doing
room.
laundry.
And I put some little flowers in it.
Using pipe cleaners and
Tissue paper and craft foam for the leaves.
yes.
and so all that stuff goes in the thing.
Yes.
So do you want to show
Oh,
that now?
yeah, that goes in there too. So,
Show
Yeah.
the rest of the food.
we'll show it when we get to the other thing.
Okay.
This is a little couch I made out of a tissue box.
So you covered it in fabric. And
Yes.
you stuffed cushions.
And she used the tissue box and
I
the bottle
realized.
caps to give it a little height.
Yeah, bottle caps give it height.
I actually watched the video again on the person I watched, and I actually did it wrong because this was actually supposed to be this back part that was a tube. It would actually be like
And-
a tube and then get bigger and then be another tube, and then you would glue it all the way around. I actually sewed another
And the
cushion.
pillow is on. It's sewed on.
Yes.
But that's a pretty cool Barbie couch, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is.
I
Actually,
think
it's
that's
all-
better than any Barbie couch you could buy in the store.
Also, I braided little yarns that I got for the Christmas.
I didn't even notice those.
Me either. I must be.
You could even do it like all the way around here. That's really cool though. That's a really cool detail that I didn't even notice until you pointed it out. So that's a really nice couch for your Barbies.
And now, I just did this one yesterday. I feel it like if I'm looking at myself, then I am looking at them, but I'm not.
This is just
Yes,
look right
that's
there.
the camera.
So this is from a cracker box and
It's-
more construction paper.
It's a bathroom.
So here's a shelf
Yeah,
and it
little
has
towels.
like a little
I don't even know what
loofah,
that is. I
a
guess.
sink, little hot and cold handles,
And a towel.
a towel.
That's made of paper.
I think it's interfacing.
I don't know. It's not
The,
really paper.
this is a lid to like a
Apple juice
juice.
from Minute Maid.
And then
tile. I did all that. These are like individual squares.
It's a Barbie shower. She's talking about all of these are individual squares, and then she used
Construction paper.
no, what's the
Oh, glitter tape from.
the washi tape?
Isn't
Yeah,
it from one of your friends?
yeah, that I got in the Advent swap. She used the washi tape that someone had sent her as a gift.
Super awesome because it doesn't shed onto my fingers.
And then she did tile on the bottom, and again hot and cold handle, a shower head. There's some shampoo and conditioner that she's built with beads.
And a little soap on a little soap plate.
Wash soap in a
And then
yeah,
this
soap
wall
dish.
is just white.
Just a white wall.
It's a nice white
Isn't
wall.
that cool?
And this is my family. We were made out of, I don't know.
So, you also made something for your sister for Christmas, right?
And me and her are going to do it together.
That's what we were talking about. the human
Trella
foods.
built this, so it's in a gift sack, but she cut the gift sack so it opens,
For a lot of play space.
and then you have
That's a little rug.
a rug,
Your chair fell over.
Oh, look, a cake.
a Christmas tree.
And-
Oh, it's falling over too.
Yeah, I need to fix it. Trying to get the
It
cake.
traveled all the way to New Mexico and back, so it's in a little bit of rough shape. But it's got a fireplace. Look at that fireplace.
And stockings that say
And this is the
P
chair that sits here.
and P and A for Prudence and Chella.
Stockings that say Prudent P and A.
For
A
Chella.
snow globe.
And then I use the oil crayon to color like the soot on the back of the white chimney.
There's a little present box in here that was under the tree, complete with tissue paper.
And there's presents
There are
inside.
actual presents inside.
Yeah.
That one I think has headphones. and
Yeah.
It's a little sack, present sack. On the
one's a phone.
tree, there's some gingerbread cookies,
tablet.
a tablet
And then
that
this
she
one
made.
has headphones. Can't get them.
And then there's a bunch of different little things that go in here. Oops, I dropped the gingerbread house.
Oh no, I'll get it.
So there's dog treats for the dog.
Bacon.
There's candy, little tiny candies that she made from
In the end.
the newspaper.
Yes.
And then cookies in the
It's
end.
underneath. Where's the gingerbread house?
It's disappeared.
Move, move, move.
It's under my foot.
Sorry.
It was behind my foot. It was behind
That was
my
an
foot.
adventure. Yeah.
The gingerbread house.
So cute.
It doesn't go up there.
I got it backwards.
It goes down here.
Backwards. The door. Oh, and
It goes that way.
the flower bead. I mean, the little tie. It's a bead, and it kept coming, and one came off. So my sister had a different one.
Yep.
Now continue with your speech.
So you've already showed this too.
And a
you
candy
showed
can.
those.
No candy.
But you got these
From Mimo last night.
for Christmas.
18-inch doll clothes.
So her grandmother, my husband's mother, got her these for Christmas, and she said she found them at Hobby Lobby. So if you have a little budding sewist in your family, and what's cool, what I found really cool about these is the fabric. The pattern is printed directly onto the fabric. So all you do is you cut it out
And sew it.
and sew it, which I thought was really nice. And then there's
Happy
these-
birthday.
so
Happy birthday.
she's excited to get started on those. And Prudence got, where's your thing?
And I got.
Not your robots.
Oh.
It's cool that you're gonna build robots, but
My
She-
stuffed animal that I get to make from hand. There's all the little fabrics and stuff. I just have to sew them together, which my sister will teach me. And it has the stitching things too.
the stitching things. Are you excited about it?
Yes.
And you said it was just like your lacing beads that you have, your robots. So you think that you can sew a little penguin stuffed animal?
Yes, but I will need help with, like sewing the eyes and like tummy. Yeah.
I think that you're gonna do great. I think you're gonna figure it out, and it's gonna be really awesome. So it says 7+, but she's 6, and again, I think with a little bit of maybe guidance, she can complete this really easily. She's really excited about it, aren't you?
Can we please show the robots?
We don't need to share the robots, but hopefully by the next podcast, she has maybe worked on this and they can join me again to show you their progress on those.
Bye, guys.
So thanks so much for sticking around.
This is my family. I don't know what.
And we'll see y'all later.